Hi guys, welcome to my channel, The Bird's Nest. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how I knew I had PCOS. So first of all, what is PCOS? PCOS stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome or polycystic ovary syndrome. It's a hormonal disorder and it's characterized by a bunch of small little cysts on your ovaries as well as some other symptoms. So you can kind of be diagnosed with PCOS in a few different ways. So your doctor will look at you and see if you have things like acne, a lot of hair growth, if you're overweight, are your periods regular or irregular, things like that. You can also do a blood test and check for, I forgot exactly what they check for, but I think they check for like androgens. Blech. And like LSH levels and things like that to see if everything's balanced. So other things that you could have are excess hair growth on your mustache or chin or something like that. Or women with PCOS are also at greater risk for obesity. And with the obesity can come insulin resistance as well. And another main factor of having PCOS is infertility, or the inability to really ovulate, I guess. So basically, the way I found out I had PCOS was I had been trying to get pregnant for a really long time. My husband and I have had multiple losses, and each loss took a while to get pregnant. And then after our last loss, it took us over a year to get pregnant with our son. Now, I had a lot of genetic testing done because of all of my losses, and they never mentioned anything about PCOS. So I obviously didn't think that I had it, because wouldn't that be something that they check for when you're having multiple losses? I mean, come on. So what happened was I started tracking my cycles, and I started doing the ovulation test strips. And so a lot of women who have PCOS, their ovulation test strips will never show that ovulation actually happened. And for me, what was happening was my ovulation strips were always showing that I was ovulating, or that I was like about to ovulate. Like the two lines were always the same color. They were always both dark. So I was like, this is weird. I feel like my body keeps like ramping up to ovulate, but maybe it doesn't like happen. Maybe the actual like ovulation part doesn't just like happen. After doing some research about it, I thought, okay, well, maybe this might be PCOS. I didn't have any of the other like symptoms. I wasn't obese. In fact, I was underweight. And I also didn't have like excess acne or excess body hair or anything like that. The one thing that I did have is mood swings and irritability. So that's another symptom. Like you can have mood swings, depression, anxiety, stuff like that. And I definitely have mood swings, irritability, and anxiety. So from the ovulation tests and combined with my mood symptoms, I decided to tell my doctor about it. So I go into the doctor, and this is after like 8 months trying to get pregnant, and I was like, I think I might have PCOS. And he takes one look at me and he's like, you don't have PCOS. So I didn't have any of the obvious PCOS symptoms. Like I wasn't overweight, I didn't have the acne, I didn't have the hair, I didn't have any of that stuff, but the ovulation tests were acting really funny. So he was like, no, you don't have it, but I'll test you anyways. So he tested me, and it ended up that my levels were all out of whack and I have PCOS. So ways that now I realize that have been PCOS that I didn't realize before are 2 times in my life I've had a cyst burst, which is a very, very, very painful experience. And after the second one, I realized that that's what it was, a cyst bursting, but I didn't realize that that was a correlating thing to PCOS. So I have cysts that burst. I have ovulation tests that always say I'm about to ovulate, but it doesn't happen like 2 weeks out of the month. They say I'm going to ovulate. but I guess I don't. Maybe sometimes I do. Maybe, I don't know. I got pregnant with my son, but who knows? The mood swings, obviously, and the irritability, and my infertility, which I don't know why I didn't get tested for it sooner. I mean, they probably took one look at me and they're like, you don't have PCOS, we don't need to test you for that. But I seem to get the things that people like, that the odds are just not with you. Like, no, you wouldn't have that, but yeah, I have it. So another interesting symptom of it was that when we went on fertility medication, I did Femara and letrozole, or I'll put it right here, the 2 drugs that I tried to get pregnant with. What they try to do is like increase your egg supply, but with PCOS that's not really an issue. So like I had a lot of eggs. The issue was that they weren't I wasn't like ovulating them. So each month it felt so promising, like, oh my god, I have so many follicles. Each month I had so many follicles, and each month it felt so promising. But I think that's another symptom of PCOS, that you will have a lot of follicles. Like if you have PCOS and you do IVF, I think you have a higher chance of having that thing happen to you, where you get like super bloated and uncomfortable like the days leading up to your egg retrieval, because you have so many. I think PCOS is like, there's diets you can go on that can help ease the symptoms of PCOS and kind of make things a little bit more balanced. There's supplements you can take as well. I'm going to do a whole video on this one supplement I found that has literally changed my life. I think with PCOS, it's like an inflammatory thing, as most things I feel like are. And eating dairy is like inflames your whole body. So I think a non-dairy diet is extremely helpful for somebody with PCOS. It's been like a crazy journey learning about it and learning that I have it. So PCOS is a very interesting thing. After I have given birth to my son, my PCOS symptoms went like extremely wonky on me and crazy, and I started noticing a lot of acne. My moods were all over the place, and I know that that's also a postpartum thing, trying to balance out your hormones again, but this is well after. So I'm talking about like a year and a half after I started noticing that it wasn't postpartum issues, it was more PCOS issues. So again, I'm going to do a video on that supplement that has actually been helping me a lot with that. If you suspect you have PCOS, or if you know you have PCOS and you have any questions, link it down below. It's important to know about your health. It's important to know what's going on with you. And the most important thing is to advocate for yourself. So if you were like me and struggling to get pregnant, or if your ovulation strips look a little bit wonky, I would ask your doctor for a test. And don't be like, oh, I don't have, I only have like 1 out of 10 of these symptoms. Still get yourself checked, because it could be interfering with your ability to get pregnant. So make sure that if you are feeling something, even if you don't look like the typical case about something PCOS or anything else, demand it from your doctor. And if your doctor doesn't listen to you, find a new doctor. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos all about motherhood and infertility and all of the hardships and hurdles that we had to overcome on our 5-year infertility journey to get pregnant with our rainbow baby. Bye!